Right now, we're going to turn our attention back to high school sports and welcome in Mark Trible of the Courier Post. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Sully.
What's happening, man?
Another excellent week of football, Sully. Let's just an excellent. I don't think there's enough excellence to explain how excellent South Jersey football is.
Now, it's SAT Saturday. Are you willing to disclose your SAT score?
I don't remember what it was. I think
Right.
I was under the impression, I know it went to 4 digits. I was under the impression that, if you finished faster, you got out of there quicker. This was a better win than properly securing a future at a college. So I just know I was the first one done, and that was kind of like my goal, and I was out of there.
Nick Costco said he got a 1,600.
Yeah, but that's out of 24. Then don't try to fluff me up a bit. I'm not no astronaut over here.
Yeah, it's weird how that changed, right? I mean,
it was only for a couple of years, I think.
Now.
It was only for
really?
4 or 5 years.
Maybe longer than that. I don't know. Whenever I was, I guess going into high school, at least, maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I was always told it was 2,400 when I was from about middle school through high school, and then a couple of years after I graduated high school, I would say maybe 2016 is when they put it back to out of 1,600.
Sully, the best is when you talk to a kid and you ask them their GPA, and they're like 4.7,
Right.
and you just look at them like, what? How is that possible? Like, something doesn't compute here. GPAs, SAT scores, it's all changed, man. It's like sliding scale. I guess it's good they went back to 1,600, but now I don't feel as dumb as I did before when it was 2,400.
4.7, a lot of extra credit.
Well, it's like they wait more for the honors classes.
Right. In that case, I would have had a 7.4.
Funny, quick SAT story. My kid sister Amy, she was kind of the brainiac of the family. I was a senior; she was in 7th grade. I was taking the SAT. She decided to take them just for the heck of it to see what it was like. She scored higher than I did as a 12-year-old.
All right, don't tell people that, Sully, especially not on a radio show. I'd say the best thing I've ever.
Hey, I got to give it up, man. She's the best looking one of the family, the smartest. So.
Well, the best I've heard is a fantasy football league somewhere used to make the last place person take the SATs at the local high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they would have to pay for it and go do it with all these 16-year-olds, like a 45-year-old guy taking them.
Did you see that one fantasy league where the loser has to get a tattoo and the winner gets to pick what it is? That's
a league I don't want to be in.
This one dude had to get a Justin Bieber face on his thigh. Yeah, that's
pretty good.
That's not a league I want to be in.
No.
So let's talk high school football, Mark. Some pretty big games. Obviously, the big one last night, Haddonfield, showing it's no fluke. They come out and beat West Deptford, and coming off the heels of that St. Joe win. So this is definitely a team that's for real.
Oh, without question, it's for real. You look at what they've done so far this season, talking to Coach Frank Delano last night, and it really is remarkable. I mean, at 0 week, they play a Pleasantville team that is very, very good, as you well know, Sully. And they had that game in control. They ended up winning by a couple touchdowns and really weren't threatened in the second half. Then they beat Cinnaminson, who last year they played in the semifinals, brought most of the team to the team. They beat St. Joe on the road. And then they beat Deptford. So four they played have been really, really tough. So you got to look at them as by far the favorite right now in Group 2. I know Camden's there, and I think Camden can make some noise along the way. Camden kind of has their own playoff demons that they'll have to battle. Haddonfield's done it time and time again. That's kind of a tried and true formula. Right now, they're the team to beat, certainly in South Jersey Group 2, but. Last night they were impressive, man. It was one of those games that, they're up 21-0. They get a roughing the punter call. The next thing you know, West Deptford's in the game. It comes down to a 4th and 3, 27-21. Haddonfield's winning. Nicky DeNoia ends up stopping a trap play. End of the game. Really exciting stuff. It didn't look exciting the whole time. Haddonfield really didn't play their best game, but they won, and that's what really, really good teams do.
Talk with Mark Trible of the Courier Post. And, Mark, what are some of your other takeaways from last night? We're kind of at the halfway point, so we're seeing really who can be a contender for the state playoffs and who maybe was a little bit of an illusion through September. Give us some of your teams that you really think can be contenders once the state playoffs roll around.
Well, let's go by group. In Group 1, and the teams I've seen so far, I think Fallsboro, Willingboro, Penns Grove, and I went out to Salem this week. They have a big one against Glassboro today. I like Salem. I think those 4 teams right now, Gateway also I'd throw in there. Those 5 in Group 1, you don't know how it'll shake out with Central and South, but those 5. Haddonfield, I do expect West Deptford to kind of be in the mix again when the playoffs roll around. I feel the same for sentiments in Pleasantville and Camden in Group 2. Group 3, Woodrow Wilson's the team to beat. Timber Creek goes on the road last night and really gets beat around a little bit by Millville. So I look at Wilson, Burlington Township there, and then in Group 4, I think Millville last night really made a case for itself as the team to beat in Group 4. I know there are some other really good teams there. Group 5's more wide open, like Williamstown. I think Kingsway's putting some things together. I think Eastern's putting some things together. RV, a tough loss at home to St. Augustine. Not sure what we'll see from the Red Devils moving forward, but a sneaky team to watch will be Lenape down the stretch. Remember, they played Williamstown to 9 points a couple weeks ago, and they have a very, very young team that's learned on the fly.
Talking Mark Trible here, the Courier Post. And Mark, any big games on the radar next week? I know we talked a little bit about St. Augustine, Holy Spirit. That's obviously a big one for next weekend. What should we be looking for in the next week or two for teams that really have a big test in front of them?
Well, I think that really is the game, Sully. I remember looking at the schedule, 2 weeks ago, kind of planning things out. That's the one that jumped off the page, and really, I didn't think any game was really that close. Other than that, Spirit and Prep the way they've played so far, and Spirit certainly after that opening week loss. That's just going to be a dandy, and I can't wait to see it.
You're going to be out there for that one?
I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Pretty sure, Solid. So I hope I see you there, man. That's what I love about those old Cal matchups. I have a very good chance of running into Sully.
I better cover a Holy Spirit game soon before I have a mutiny over there with the Spartan fans.
Hey, look, man, that's on you. Holy Spirit, I want you to know I'd try to do everything I can to see you guys. It's a long drive for me, but I'll do anything for Holy Spirit. Sully, on the other hand, who knows? I don't know. It's right in his backyard. But why should he show up,
Hey, I got a lot of teams to cover here. Mark, before we let you go, give me a high school football player who's your starring role in the Born Identity Index.
In the Born Identity Index. I'm going to go with Gabe Klaus from Haddonfield. I'm going to go with Gabe Klaus. I think Gabe Klaus could do just about anything. Really smart kid, great defensive player, linebacker, excellent blocker, excellent receiver. I think that Gabe Klaus would be the guy I'm looking at right there.
I would have to go with Dean Hall, quarterback from Mainland. He's got those movie star looks. He's got the swag. He could definitely pull it off.
I have to be on the lookout for Dean.
But we'll have to pose that as a Twitter question. Who's your star in the Born Identity Power Index? Coming to theaters November 1st.
That's a great idea. So you embark on that, and I'll give you a retweet.
Work that into your next Wednesday Facebook Live show.
I'll do my best.
Mark, as always, great time talking with you, and hopefully we'll see you out there next week at St. Augustine.
Yeah, Sully, thanks as always for having me on, man. Sorry about the call dropping earlier, but I appreciate it.
That's right. We can work this into a whole season thing of the Born Power Index Identity Supremacy. We'll have different versions.
If anyone can do it, it's you, Sully.
I don't know if I got enough free time, man. I got to get out to field hockey, soccer, all this other stuff.
That's right. You're a busy man.